There we go. We're starting off with a DK. We are starting off with a Demon Hunter. No Warden action here on Hammerfall. It's so far the classic. LawLiet has been getting better and better and better in this matchup. Game sound very quiet. Game sound very quiet. Thank you. Has been getting better in this matchup by quite a bit. When is the big breakout performance? That's the big question. It might just be today. Last week, 1-0 was reported to have a little fever. Hopefully he did recover. We'll see about that. Also, hopefully, LawLiet not influenced by the happenings in Korea yesterday. It was quite a stressful day in that country, I would say. At least there was a lot of action and things to get distracted from. We got double Necropolis. Maybe we missed the ghoul pull. I'm sorry about that. But since the Ancient is up and creeping went fine, if there was a ghoul pull, it wasn't successful. So now, Demon Hunter with level 2 and with claws and with the ring. Looking pretty fine, I gotta say.
Forces are under attack.
And he's diving right in. Doesn't have a staff. And I love this approach in general. You can defend with ghouls at home, but the ghouls at home are very, very hurt from creeping. It is usually an upside for all the undead. You creep, you send the ghouls back to lumber, they regen on blight, and you have your rotation. But if you attack them when they're on the bench, this leads to easy kills, and LawLiet just walks it off. And that is an acolyte down during the tech. That is the worst thing that could possibly happen to an undead. And Demon Hunter still goes wild. We do have a Narrow Tower now, which makes it a lot easier to maneuver against it. And LawLiet may be a little bit too greedy being trapped here now. True, Necropolis is up, so it's not that bad. True. Still, it's a lot of mining time. And I love how LawLiet is minimizing the surface area. So just a few grunts, a few ghouls can attack. This is a lot of distraction. That's buying time for the tech. And then a TP to get out of it. Now, Ancient of War not in position yet. Hunter's Hall not up. So maybe this cost a little more distraction for LawLiet than he originally wanted. But he can also go for a hero. He is filthy rich. Didn't need to invest into any units apart from the 3 archers initially. And 1-0 has some catching up to do when it comes to creeping. What's the hero? Naga. What's the goal? Expansion. At least the expansion spot. Haven't seen a Tree of Life yet. We also haven't seen an Undead expansion, which is something that Happy would be going for. But maybe 1-0 going for that at tier 3. His timings have become very, very deadly, and these timings are what you need to destroy and push further back. And now that we say it, he is expanding now. At the arrival of tier 2, definitely later than Happy would do, a little bit later than Eer0 would do, but a tier 2 expansion. That's interesting. He's trying to time that when the Demon Hunter is already level 3. Maybe he wasn't aware of it, but he should have calculated it in. And on level 3, Demon Hunter is quite a bully. He still has mana. He's burning away. Using all his army to attack now. Okay, Demon Hunter alone can't do it. 1-0 needs help, and the help of a Naga of his own. And you know how deadly these fights can be. Shadow Melt a little bit too late, but the Demon Hunter is burning away. That's 1 ghoul, that's 2 ghouls, 2 archers so far. Even trades 1-1. And I don't need to be a prophet to tell you that these units will also fall. 3 versus 3. But what about the expo? Either you need to clobber it down in no time, or you need to counter expand. But LawLiet doesn't seem to do any of that. He's chasing the DK, who has no TP and no staff, but there's no boots on the Naga, only on the Demon Hunter. And this is something that I see a lot on LawLiet. The Naga isn't able to catch up. Oh, the block of the Wisp though. But now Naga wasn't split to the left-hand side, was just following the Demon Hunter, and with that, the hero focus endeavor is over. Can't help but feel that this could have been salvaged a little better. If the Naga goes to the middle, can intercept here, that would have led to a kill, but 1-2-0, nice escape. Keeps the hero safe and still with every chance in the game. Expo up. Saturated in a bit. Tier 3 is running with a delayed slaughterhouse, so no skeleton at the moment. But we got some healing thanks to Blight. We got some mana thanks to the potion. And Tier 3 is unfolding for LawLiet, who decided that tech is more important than the Expo. So, supply lead for the elf. Level lead for the elf as well, with the Fork Lightning engaging again, as with Naga and Dryads alike. You got so much crowd control. And this seems like a good timing without it being an overcommitment. Unfortunately, for LawLiet, his bears, or his bear upgrade, has been a little late due to the production of Dryads, 4 of them. He's got this. Oh, more. Oh, no, it is 4. Plus, he invested in a shredder, which I love. If your problem is lumber, go get a shredder. The classic 1-2-0 timing with an expansion should be around 10 minutes 30. Well, we have the demon catching some hits. There is a coil. Be careful. LawLiet a bit notorious for losing his hero in unnecessary situations. And now we got to see how many production buildings. 1 slaughterhouse, 1 crypt. This doesn't seem dangerous. Because of that and the delayed tech, LawLiet should have enough time to build an army and to unfold his own tech. The strength of Undead not only relies in the expansion, but also in the fact that they can go up to 4 production buildings. And then explode in supply, craft a big army where your opponent can't follow up, and basically A-click your base. But 1-2-0 doesn't do that, despite the available resources.
A player's forces are under attack.
And that makes it so that it's quite a tough game now, I would say. Despite an overflow of lumber, no additional buildings yet. I would love to see... Oh, first, of course, we need more moon worlds. I would love to see wins as fast as possible. Or even a 3rd lore to overwhelm. Frenzy is up. The Lich is coming. As I said, a little bit later than 10 minutes 30. But definitely a lot of time to prepare. No AP, but double moon wells and shop in a nicely set up way. Is this holdable? Oh, he gets even more time. Yeah, 1-2-0. In comparison to Happy, almost tame. And what's he buying time for? Upgrades. Nice to go for the armor upgrade first, knowing that the Lich is coming out with the Orb of Corruption, which reduces mana if you have armor, which reduces armor. If you have higher armor, the effect is not that big. And 1-2-0 decides it's time for double slaughterhouse abominations. Meat up front, fiend for damage behind, and trying to crush in that regard. Seems like he's not that heavy on destroyers, right? He got 1, but that's pretty much about it. Demon Hunter trying to burn as much as possible. A little bit of shop control. Naga got Invo Potions. Good shop control by LawLiet in general. Nova, mana used. Demon Hunter staffed out. And now what about the Moon Juice? Looking okay. But 2 destroyers now. The winds didn't arrive. 1 bear down. 2nd bear down. Uh-oh, this is not looking good for the ground army. Hero focus is the name of the game. Apparently, Dryads are hiding behind the Ancient of War, but not all of them. LawLiet with the 1-man army. The undead towering over him. 66 food. And it remains a problem for Night Elves. to be able to catch up with the explosive production of undeads at the beginning of tier 2. With the bears just simply disappearing. The bears are a wonderful addition if you can use their roar and reju, but as fighters against mana destroyers, it's really not that good. But maybe LawLiet can turn this around. He's clearly going for hero focus. There is an Ankh on the demon. He realized that, switching targets to the Naga, swaps the Ankh. That makes the DK more exposed. And there is boot still, but so much damage. Naga falls for the first time. Ankh up. Lich gets the mana drained. New bears are coming in. He would love to get that reju. Has to get the staff. Demon Hunter out. DK coming back. There is the statue healing, of course. Naga save. Good control. Where is the Demon Hunter? It is the saving grace. We're hovering around the 50 food army. This is, of course, economically more advanced than whatever 120 has done. And now, can this Demon Hunter Terrorblade save the Night Elves? Can't lose the demon. It's the carry, but for 120, he usually can't use the Lich. A bit overexposed there. Easy to focus. And this Demon Hunter seemingly unkillable at this point in absence of mana and coil and spells. I was worried for the Demon Hunter there a little bit, but the Naga got the staff ready. This is a little bit of momentum. We are fighting during nighttime, so the entire Moonwell arsenal will be fully equipped soon. You can see it here. I love how LawLiet is using the staff and draining the Moonwells in the main and not going for a panic reaction to the Moonwells he set up for the defense. DK knows that his time is ticking. Get an invo potion as well. Inventory looks abysmal. Lich is back from the tavern. Might need some help here. Same as the bear, who can thankfully save himself. What a fight by both of them. This would be the time to applaud if this was a LAN event. Gorgeous back and forth. Both know their win conditions. LawLiet clearly gunning for the heroes. 120 gunning for units first and foremost, knowing that he can't stop this Demon Hunter all by himself. Now, more burns coming in. Fork Lightning. Nice impact. Demon needs the staff, but it's on cooldown in 2 seconds. Can save him. And the disease cloud is trickling down. Potions being used more and more and more. We get a second orb up in this. The supply gap is closing. The destroyers have no mana. And 120 once again has to retreat, making use of his gold at the shop. Whew. That's a phenomenal start to this day. What a hold. No wins, no crows, no hippos. Just Dryad Bears. And LawLiet with great execution. The staff at the right time. Playing around the cooldowns very, very well. Would love to have a reju bear here, to be honest. But hey, we got no time to analyze that. Apparently, we need to fight more. Abominations. Hard to chew through. We have frost armor, by the way, against a lot of dryads. Shouldn't be too impactful, actually, but results in a little slow. Fiends are getting decimated. Oh my god, what a difference it makes if the destroyers have mana or not. Bears can actually do something in a fight. Trade it for fiends, trade it for A-bombs, and I can't help but feel that LawLiet is taking the initiative. Now it's back to hero focus. Lich in trouble, both Naga in trouble, and 120 has to TP out. Destroyer still being focused. False! And that was a big loss. 64 food, expo up, both can recover well. Level-wise, it is fairly even. Of course, we have the third hero Lich on 120 side, soaking up the XP. First hero close to 5. Same is the case for LawLiet, who will get it now with one more kill. And that is mana burn level 3. And that burns you for 150. Staffing the Demon Hunter away so we give full experience to the Naga. This all seems optimized. LawLiet in good shape on map 1. But he didn't weather the storm just yet. Needs to build an army. As the DK also gets level 5, we got a lot of potion. That Naga is a beast. Look at her go, plus 16. And where do we go next? Invo potions seem like a necessity. Heal scrolls maybe as well against Fog Lightning Nova. Yeah, the duality of destroyers is once again noticeable. With mana, terrorizing. Without mana, little birdies throwing shade. That's all they do. The burns have not been mega impactful, but the cooldown is low and 1-2-0. Okay, using the Fog Lightning now. That was last second. Bears with the reju, wonderfully done. Dispelled as well on the other side. Is this Night Elf army enough? Don't let the supply counter fool you. These armies should be pretty comparable at the moment. Can the Demon Hunter survive is the question. He has 7 seconds safety, aiming for the DK, who once again got an Ankh. And this is a lot of damage wasted on that DK. Almost 500 of them. That would have been an entire Fiend. And now we're fighting at the main turf. This is again only the Ankh. And Invo potions are still available. Destroyers, destroyers, destroyers. What to do against destroyers? Usually this is the moment where the crows come in. Ankh triggered. Naga, whoo! Immediately move to the back. Speaking of move to the back, Demon Hunter get the same treatment. Trying to dodge the Dispel, and it actually works. It's sloppy by 1-2-0. This is a lot of healing. And we bounce back to the position where the Moonwells are full. And I wonder if that is maybe a mistake to not brute force the main. We'll see about that. There's also shop access giving a lot of longevity to this Demon Hunter specifically. Would love to have a Ring of Protection on this DH. Staff again. But yeah, if the bears, I love this. 2 bears always attack 1 fiend. Doing so much damage. And LawLiet completely ignoring the destroyers for the most part. Yeah, the bears are suffering, but as long as dryads are spreading the poison, I think this is fine. An ungodly brawly map 1. Staff on cooldown. Anti-magic used. No heal potion. Oh no! The Demon Hunter moves a little bit too far away. Can't save himself anymore. 5 seconds on the clock for the staff. Overexposure. And that is the one mistake that you cannot allow. Demon Hunter falls. With that, the Vanguard is gone and everything falls afterwards. GG. A glorious 20-minute game where basically half of the game was set up. The other half of the game was fighting. And I gotta say, that's a good ratio. This didn't seem to look like this wasn't super overwhelming on the 1-0 side. But it was good enough. And yeah, one mistake is oftentimes all that matters. I can only assume that the heal potions were out of stock. Both players with great fights. It was... Sorry, I had to check that I get into the game. It was great fights. It could have gone either way. 1-0 with great saves on his hero. Maybe in this specific scenario, a little bit lucky that it was twice Ankh. It could, if it's any other item except for maybe Healthstone, these heroes die or you're forced to retreat a lot earlier. But he didn't do that. Found the items that brought the heroes back. Could stay in the fight, and at some point it was a bit overwhelming. And yeah, if you decide to go for Dryad Bears only, without the crows, Dryads aren't the best anti-air. That's why you got crows. That's why you got hippos. But then, of course, on the other side, you got to find the time for that, for the wins. You suffer somewhere else, and maybe you just lose the game quicker because you didn't do that transition. Echo Isles is next, where we can certainly, with the players involved, expect the Warden. Map 2. Despite double orb, despite level 5 Demon Hunter, it wasn't enough. Maybe it's down to the Warden to once again save LawLiet. It seems like One2Zero as the captain is gonna have a solid time in this match, as everybody knows that Undead is very strong against Night Elf as a whole. Usually we would say, yeah, One2Zero isn't that great as Happiest, but he is damn strong, I gotta say. So maybe they sacrificed LawLiet a bit so Moon can shine in the mirror versus Life, which is a bit of a toss-up. And then Infi versus Focus is probably the deciding match in the one-on-one part of this team battle, I would say. One2Zero, LawLiet 0. I wouldn't mind to see 3 games of this encounter, as it was a lot of fun to watch. Very nice back and forth. Very nice endurance on both sides. Fighting 10 minutes straight without any real break is tremendous. Shout out to our warriors on the battlefield here. It is the Warden. And everybody expected that in the hands of LawLiet. The best Warden player in the history of this game. And we got a standard build by One2Zero. No ghoul pull. Just the Acolyte scouting. Very active chat, as so often when the Night Elf play. Wish you best of luck and lots of sanity. Creep pull works fine. Acolyte not necessarily disrupting it. LawLiet gets the Shadow Priest, which is big, as Dispel versus Skeletons, as a little bit of healing for the Warden while in combat, so you can save Moon Juice, which you need because you want the Moon Juice to primarily restore your mana. We start with Claws of Attack. This is of course an item where other heroes benefit more from, like the Demon Hunter. But it's never wrong to increase creep speed. Makes it a bit easier to focus on ghouls. And One2Zero does what you would expect from an undead on this map, and that is expand. In general, Echo Isles is the expansion map. And this should go for both players. Classic for the Night Elf would be to expand here and then waddle over. Can also expand on the spot. Or maybe LawLiet has something tricky for us. Because once the undead army economy is established, it's really tough. We shouldn't forget that the mid-game in Game 1 was incredible for LawLiet, killing so many ghouls, running into the main, getting an Acolyte during tech, forcing more resources. But this is a different game. This is a Warden game. One2Zero still committing a lot of ghouls, expecting a tree here, but there's no tree to be found. There's also no tech to be found. What the hell? What is LawLiet doing? He's focusing on the Warden, gets the Berserker, that's a nice pick, but that won't win you the game. Blasting through the Shadow Strike. But there's gonna be some healing due to the Ritual Dagger. This was expensive in mana. Tech now. Oh. I don't think this was on purpose. I don't think that was on purpose. But okay. Tech is running now. At the very least. No fan of knife skill just yet. We got boots, no telestaff. Claws for 1-0 as well. And now the skeleton confirms that there's a moonwell, no expo. And LawLiet seriously trying to play this one base? Oh.
A player's forces are under attack.
Ooh, Ring of Protection. That is an item the Demon Hunter would have loved to have. We don't have a second Necropolis this time, so during tech you wouldn't be able to get the Acolytes back. Trying to get one now, but that is potentially a lot of kills. Look at that Shadow Strike, go! 3.2, Warden is satisfied with the Shadow Strike ability for now. Switch is creeping for Harass and getting one more kill and another kill. And I gotta say, this is a little sloppy by 1-0. He's not interfering with this at all. It's like, okay, yeah, kill my Acolytes. I'm fine, dude.
A player's forces are under attack.
And he was creeping at the same time, and he is expanding now. Wonder how the timings will end up. This was a lot of kills. This was a bit of an invite, I gotta say. And tier 2 is done. No resources currently for the lores, but that will fix itself in a second. Chop over lore. And a second Shadow Priest as well. Interesting twists by 1-0, by LawLiet versus 1-0. And a very defensive stance. Where'd the Ancient of War end up? Did it die? Oh, it's in position already. Good, 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 good. And the Warden does what the Warden does best. Harass. Again, not using the third skill point. I got a feeling that the Warden still needs to creep some camps. LawLiet was anticipating this though. Started stepping, kiting with range army here. You don't want to lose too much against the DK coil. And then I love the addition of a Mud Golem when it's about kiting, when it's about movement speed. Why not slap Muddy in, coming to the rescue and continue this harass? This Expo harass is working way better. Obviously, no Zeppelin on this map as there is no laboratory on this map. So it's not that easy to keep them safe. And 1-0, to be honest, a bit slow with his reaction in general. So deserved kills for that Warden in a trade-off for her mana. That bought a lot of time for the Expo. Warden staffing back, Law of the Mobility. And away we go. What's 1-0 doing? His tech finished. Is it Naga for stability? Or are we going Lich for more power? Coil certainly hurts. This time, no mana burn. Which is coiling away. This was the last one, right? At least for 25 seconds. Goes in favor of 1-0. Oh, wow. What the hell is that Fiend doing here? How is a Fiend ending up here? Trying to go to the tavern. That's how. But a Fiend is not necessarily a unit that does this best. Ghouls, maybe even skeletons. Ooh.
A player's forces are under attack.
That's a big loss for free. But the Lich was already on the way, then... I'm a bit confused by 1-0's performance here today. On map 1 it was still enough. On map 2 it kinda spells disaster.
A player's forces
A fiend walks into a bar. Exactly. These pokes not necessarily too impactful. Can replace them easy, but it's 75 gold, or maybe with the lack of mining time, more like 100 gold per kill. Lich well equipped with double claw, more creeping, and yeah, the creeping, I was about to say worries me a little, but then I look at the level and it's 4.5. That's all right. With blink, stays with the shadow strike, by the way. No fan of knives, which would usually be the harass tool, as it damages more units, but shadow strike secures the kill with damage and crowd control. And now this spot he had his eyes on for a long time. Despot, thank you for the sub.
Let's go team 120.
120. That's what we call it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to watch these matches uninterrupted and Twitch Prime is your friend, or a regular Twitch subscription, of course. No ads during Ancient of Wonders Cup, during DWCC, during anything we do. And that is a lot. 277 days in a row. Warden 5. Fan of Knight's transition. Nicely done. Forces the first big healing already. 1-0, similar to how you play against Orc, adds an Alchemist third for the AoE healing against AoE damage. And then there's no disable on LawLiet side. There's no Panda, no Naga, no Demon Hunter, no support. It's down to the Warden. And while we were looking for level 5 the entire time, maybe the goal is level 6 now. And once again, you gotta hold. Warden staffs to the Expo where there's very little moon juice. And hero focus is no option without the Shadow Strike. It has to go via AoE damage. But the Alchemist is full mana. Plus we have a heal scroll. Plus we have a mana potion. So the damage is there, but the damage is countered immediately. No silence against it. Nothing. The Alchemist can just do whatever he wants. For how long though? Tools have to be repositioned. This was 1 or 2 kills at max. Supply relatively even, but we don't have a staff on that Warden. Makes it hard to get the bears out. 500 gold. There was definitely room to get a staff. And the Warden just explodes after a Coil Nova. And with that, this push will certainly succeed. The early tier 3 pushes. Devastating. Warden back. Last ditch effort. But no mana makes this so hard. One Fan of Knives is all you got. And the Night Elf misery. The LawLiet misery.
WLICH.
Thank you, Laughing Buddha. The Night Elf misery against Undead continues. LawLiet's misery continues against Happy and 1-2-0. He just cannot win. 2 months and counting. Other people are able to do it. How colorful. But for LawLiet, this is not one of his matchups where he's comfortable at. He's good. He's playing so well, but some key element is missing. At some point, a hero falls. And that is then unrecoverable from him. This Alchemist was such a beautiful pick. Without any counter on the Night Elf side, it's just too much healing. You got Aura, you got statues, you add the alchemist on top. It sounds like it's healing overkill, but against this ferocious lady with all the AoE damage, it's exactly what you need. And then you don't have to go for heal scrolls, you save a lot of gold, you build a big army. Warden is level 6 though. Okay, that is the win condition. Once again, blasting through the mana. Is this game not over? Lich in trouble, Fiends in trouble, Avatar, lots of damage, Spirits coming back, and this abomination forgotten about. Now saved by a coil. Invulnerable Spirits and an expansion up top. LawLiet. Feeling confident. Thank you, happy for the sub. Lich dead. This time, no Ankh, and this is also an alchemist. He might have been a knight, but he's still dead. The level 6 Warden, I didn't even see, was so close to it. Got kill after kill, slowly but steady. And now wants more kills. Warden has an invo potion, can stay in there. More corpses via Fiend. That's another spirit. That's another unit that 120 cannot deal with. Chat is talking about balance the entire time, but literally there is no way to kill a spirit. You can get rid of it by getting rid of the avatar, but that thing has 1200 HP and is very hard to chew through. Supply still even. Alchemist back in 40. We get a lot of statues that will morph into a lot of destroyers possibly. But 120 has to scout the upper right hand side. At the moment it would be incredibly easy to cancel that tree. Just use ghouls, you have 1000 lumber. But he doesn't see it, he doesn't have our vision. Triple claw and gloves for the Lich, 6000 damage. And as I said, these spirits are invulnerable. Can't touch this. Did it. LawLiet and the Warden. A match made in heaven. Attack upgrades coming now. Backpack will be researched. I see backpack a lot more actually. Is 2025 the year of backpack? Night Elves are always slot starved when they play Warden. Because they only have 6 slots compared to 18 of the undead side. So why not park a heal scroll in a bear? Another shop. The previous one was destroyed. Can LawLiet hold again? Can LawLiet hold again? Health on the DK doesn't look too great. But the undead healing and the undead regen is incredible. Destroyer bus, 76 food. This is a massive push by 120. Warden doesn't get any weaker from here on out though. Level 7 blinks away. Coil on the A-bomb keeps it safe for now. Bit of a messy fight actually. Alchemist level 3 for a lot more healing. And of course, not only are the undead heroes regenning over time, the Night Elf units, thanks to Disease Cloud, also suffering over time. But suffering, when you play against the level 7 Warden, there's a lot of it. When will the Alchemist run out of mana? Can you keep the mana high on the Warden? There's another fan. What a tug of war this is. The Avatar and the Spirits. They hold the fort for now. Another mana potion, but health is actually worrying. In the absence of mana burn, Coil Nova hits hard. This is 9 supply about to fall though. 4, 5 spirits. Warden got some healing. Double kill. Level 7.4. And there's always gold for the potion. But how many are still in stock is the question. We have no ability to look into the shop to see how many there are. But it can't be many anymore. Similar to LawLiet's army. 48 food only. There's another shop. Backup shop for more mana potions. This is what Night Elves rely on. Whispers coming in for a detonate. So the statues can't regen much anymore. Any chance to kill a hero again? Units on the left-hand side. Gotta heal. Gotta use the rejuve. LawLiet is allowed to do that. Alchemist blink. It opens up the flank on the left-hand side. DK chasing, blinks away. There was a coil at the ready. LawLiet stemming against the defeat. He's 30 food down, but he got his Warden. Where is she, though? When is she coming back? She needs HP. She needs support. Can't do all by herself. 1-0 is only constructing statues at this point. Magic immune, of course. Kinda nice to have. It feels like the writing is on the wall, chat. I feel like once again with brute force 1-0 is able to crack the code. But of course LawLiet is on 3 bases. Let's not forget about that. Maybe the longevity keeps him in the game. Main bases will expire in 2.5 minutes. But 2.5 minutes can feel so long when an undead at 80 food is pushing you. Kevin of Computer, thank you for the sub. Warden with Shadow Strike would add another element with a little bit of movement speed reduction. Only 1 out of 3 Dryads attacking could spread the poison a little better. 2 statues, 3 statues empty. And destroyers without mana, I have to say it again and again and again, aren't great units unless they're fed with spells. We gotta give up this base. That was Moonwell's lost, shop lost, expo lost. But 1,000 gold in the bank. Needs a little bit of rebuilding, and this was 6-7 wisps down. A lot of economy, and lumber is low. After... Oh, we did already rebuild, in anticipation, rebuild the wells. That also explains why lumber is so low. But another shop trip for 1-0. Close to level 60k. Lich, absurd. Like, obviously the standout damage metric is 38,000 on this Warden. But the Lich at 14k is outstanding as well. Coil at the ready, Warden being nuked. How long can you play against this? It's 2 base now. Full mana though. But unfortunate situation is, we don't have any healing. We get hippos in. No talent transition. There was no time for that, but at least the hippo. Instant reaction by 1-0 with the web, only if he needed it. The upgrade is quite fast to research, so he can play around that pretty nicely. 1,500 gold for the undead. He's banking already for worse times. Shoots the Coil Nova from afar, then right clicks with the Lich as well. Yeah, this LawLiet needs an absolute miracle or a massive fumble on 1-0 side. Level 6? Is it the ultimate to flex, or is it the aura because it's for free? Oh, he's portaling back actually. His damage against the air army is ramping up. Couple of exit kills as the main base is down. 1 base. You still have to catch up. 17 food. It is another phenomenal map here at the AOW Cup. Similar to the first one. 2 great players facing each other, showing their skills, freaking flexing. $3,200 gold for 1-0. Acolytes will find a surprise. Yeah, this could have been cancelled long time ago. But this puts LawLiet in an interesting situation. Do you want to hold this? Is it enough if you move the tree over? But then it's 2 against 1. But if you hold this, how do you want to break the army? Warden harass. Alright. Alright. Trying to keep the economy even. Level 8 is now the first level of Shadow Strike, but I don't... Maybe as a pickup. Fairy Dragons coming in. As, yeah, mana is low, but there's still always a little bit of Touch of Death or Spirit. The Ancient of Wind transition. So far, not that impactful. It might have saved LawLiet's life once, but also 120 knows this is the scariest. If there's suddenly crows, there are not. Abominations, so hard to kill with 1100 HP. And I think 120 has established complete dominance with almost 20,000 damage on that Lich. 50k for the Warden. Nice deny. But yeah, is this the last hurrah? It certainly is. The heal scroll wasn't enough. Boom, Coil Nova, game over. GG. The Warden Ultimate was able to hold LawLiet in the game at the 15-minute mark, but from there on out, it seemed like an avalanche, an undead avalanche that LawLiet wasn't able to stop anymore. So Team 120 goes in with the